Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Logical, Plausible, Probable. I'm your host, John Maddox, and tonight we're having another stream you just won't want to miss. If you got what it takes, click that link, or prepare yourself, for this arena is not for the weak. Now, let the mental combat begin, but always make sure your arguments are LPP.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another after show here on Logical, Plausible, Probable, where hopefully we'll have some good conversation, good back and forth, good dialogue. Hopefully it won't turn into a dumpster fire right away, but, may get a few sparks here and there and turn into a little bit of an inferno at some point in the evening. I'm sure most of you are coming in from the Evolution on Trial debate over on Standing for Truth. It was yet another interesting one. This time, I think it was round 3 between Mark Reed and Dr. Dino, a.k.a. Kenthoven. And it was interesting, folks. It was interesting. It was, a little bit of ad hominem there, a little bit of direct insult there. A little bit of quoting things and admissions, don't understand what you're actually talking about. But, hey, in the day and age in which we live, just being on YouTube means that you must know enough to do a debate on a topic that you're going to admit you don't understand while you're in the debate. So you're going to quote things and then claim that you don't understand them. It's amazing, folks. It really fascinates me how this continues to come on a regular basis from the Evo atheist camp, and then they don't seem to grasp the reality that claiming ignorance on a topic you're debating is not a good defense when it happens over and over again. Now, when it's like random questions from somebody in the Q&A, okay, fair enough. Are you expected to know actually absolutely everything somebody Googled and then threw at you? Of course not. In relation to the general topic, in regards to things that you're bringing up and you're debating, it blows the mind. But that's neither here nor there. Anybody who wants to join into the conversation, share their thoughts about who won, lost, best one-liners, best comebacks, best zingers, link is pinned in the side chat. Go ahead and click that link, get in here, and share your thoughts about tonight's debate, and we will get things into conversation. Anybody who's their first time here for an after show, basically how it works is people join the panel, we will kind of do round robin. So as people come in, whoever comes in first, it's their turn kind of thing. They share their thoughts, get 45 seconds to a minute, share your thoughts about the debate, just outline general things that stuck out to you, who you thought won, lost, etc. Then we'll go on to the next person. If nobody's joined for a little bit, and then we, people that are in the panel, are having a conversation back and forth. If somebody new comes in, we will just automatically, finish a couple sentences and whatnot, and then allow that person to share their thoughts about the debate, and then we can go back into general conversation. Now, before we, folks, link is pinned. Come on in if you want to. So I'm cracking up at this pro debates character in the side chat right now, who is claiming that unless you went to an Ivy League, unless you went to an accredited university, you can't actually have a degree. Well, what about people who got degrees prior to accreditation? Did they not actually have a degree? Pro debates. We're very interested to see if that is your position, and if there are things like, for example, I live here in Nashville, and the Nashville School of Law is not an accredited university. However, the Tennessee Bar Association recognizes it, and you're allowed to be a member of the bar and practice the law in Tennessee, having a degree from a non-accredited law school. So if you go down that, I'm not really sure if you thought through this logic all the way of that accreditation is necessary in order for somebody to have a degree. Now, whether or not you want to argue about the quality thereof, and so on and so forth, or it's a diploma mill, that's a different topic. But whether or not somebody actually has the degree is an entirely different position. And just, I don't know, it fascinates me how. So Pro Debates is now saying, then I would say that is proper accreditation. Well, Pro Debates, if you're referring to the National School of Law, it is not accredited specifically. Like, it literally says it on their freaking website. You can't get student loans to go there because it's not accredited by any of the 4 regional accreditation agencies here in the United States. So if it's not accredited under the standard talking points that you're referring to, is the JD from the National School of Law not actually a degree, is the entire point. I mean, it's really amazing if you clearly have not thought this through. Okay, so something we're going to be doing. Oh, super chat. Thank you so much. Purosity Gold says, ready for another epic after show on Logical, Plausible, Probable. Well, hopefully people will start hopping in. Like I said, folks, links are pinned in the side chat if you want to hop in and share your thoughts. Okay, so something to do here in a little bit is we will be doing a couple different trivia games. We'll do it throughout the after show, and I think I'm going to try this out. Trying a little software. I think it'd be fun to occasionally toss in some trivia contests. May turn into an ongoing tournament style thing for after shows, live streams, etc. Might be pretty fun. Let me know in the side chat if you think it would be fun, something you'd be like to take part in. Okay, so pro debate says accreditation. National School of Law is approved by the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners, and graduates may take the bar examination and practice law in the state of Tennessee. So pro debates, I literally said that. Okay, okay, but it is not accredited in relation to like the University of Tennessee or Stanford, Harvard, from the academic accreditation agencies. Okay, this is, I mean, there's the Northwest Agency. There's like, I believe it's 4 across the United States that are recognized in terms of the traditional meaning of the word an accredited university. Okay, that is what accreditation means in the general sense. Again, the National School of Law is not recognized as an accredited university by those institutions. Being recognized by the School of Law, or sorry, the Tennessee Bar Association, is different than the accreditation agency that would be used for the University of Florida or University of Georgia or University of Chicago or Penn State, so on and so forth. Like, if you don't know the differentiation on this and are claiming that, like, this is good, man. This is good. George, super chat. Thank you so much. George says, am I missing something? Mark claimed plants don't need oxygen, but without oxygen, you don't get an ozone layer. Without an ozone layer, everything fries. Is that symbiosis? Well, George, it's interesting how Marky Mark is generally ignorant on so many things and flip-flops. And I think there was an incident that you had with him a while back where the night before, maybe it was 2 days before, he had claimed to have not said something, adamantly claimed to have not done so. It said you were making things up and were horrible human beings, so on and so forth. And then we played the video with timestamps of him doing the exact opposite of what he claimed that you were making up. It's an amazing trend with Evo Atheists on YouTube. There's confession through projection and ongoing, just, the atheist fantasyland projection complex is strong with so many. It's an ongoing issue. Per debate says they can practice law. That degree has use, and of Kent's degrees have any use. Okay, that doesn't. You're claiming it doesn't have any use. That is your claim. You have to defend that it has no claim, and that's like saying that anybody who has ever had a job, who gotten a job by utilizing a degree that did not come from an accredited university, if they ever got a degree, then it had no use. I mean, like, so if you got a job from it, did it have a use or did it not have a use? Is the knowledge you gained, does it have use or does it not have use? I mean, it's like, I don't even know what his degrees are. I'm just saying that the ongoing claim by the Evo Atheists on YouTube that this somehow has relevance is just pretty funny. Oh, another super chat. Thanks, guys. Appreciate this. Coming in from G Moose says, why wasn't anybody talking about how Mark mentioned HIV when he's asked for a beneficial mutation or beneficial ERV? So, G Moose, that's a very great point because that struck me loudly. I mean, he's like, we absolutely have seen it. And he goes on about HIV. And then at the very tail end, now, whether or not it's been beneficial, I don't know. I'll have to research that some more. It's like, so you claim to be answering the question and that what was being asked to have been observed. Oh yeah, HIV, blah, 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 blah. It's like, really, dude? Like, nobody, I don't think anybody would view HIV as having really any benefits. I mean, if it is likely to result in death, then the benefit of it is not that great. Just saying. I mean, I don't know where people get that, like to go down that rabbit hole. It's okay. So does anybody? Okay, so this pro debates guy. So, dude, what I don't know. I don't know this. So, what degree? What PhD? Which 3 PhDs does Kent claim to have? I've never heard about this. So, what is the which 3 PhDs are we referring to here? That's a great point from. Let's see. Where'd it go? Echoing says people can't defend evolution, so personal attacks mean evolution is true. How dumb. Yeah, it was kind of interesting to me listening to Mark throughout the debate. I'm like, I mean, the level of vitriol, insults, ad hominems, just the ongoing, just ha ha ha. Well, it's obvious that you don't know what you're talking about, so let's just and you're just making things up and deceiving people, blah blah blah. I think he actually said he called him a liar multiple times, and it's like, okay, you just claimed he doesn't understand something, and then you followed it up with saying that he was lying about the thing he doesn't understand. So which one is it, Mark? Does he understand, or he is lying about something he does understand? Which one is it? I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too, bro. You have to go one way or the other. Now, Red Cat says he didn't say HIV was beneficial. He was asked if we have seen a retrovirus insert itself into DNA. No, actually, the question, apparently you weren't paying attention, just like Marky Mark. It was specifically in regards to a beneficial function. That was in the question that he was asked. So, I mean, I don't know if you weren't paying attention, like Marky Mark. Maybe Marky Mark was lying about the thing he didn't understand. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe we should just grant him that he was lying about something he didn't understand, or maybe he just misinterpreted what was said. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Let's see. Power Word says, how hard did Mark have to pivot after Kent actually asked him to respond scientifically to the papers on ERVs? Oh, yeah. It's like, well, I don't really understand. I'm not an expert on this. I'll need to go, it's like, so you're dogmatically quoting something, claiming your opponent doesn't understand, X, or that anybody who disagrees with your talking point doesn't understand the premise, while simultaneously claiming that you need to go, like, see your big brother, Dr. Danny Boy or something. I think you remember him somewhere. I think it might be in the question answer section, but I'm gonna have to go run and talk to somebody who can tell me what I'm supposed to think. I mean, it's like, this is amazing. I think I must have gotten another appreciate it. Another super chat from Elosha. It says Mark's assertion on the female first thing seemed particularly absurd. Yeah, so the male has XY, female XX. Let's see. So the female just completely, like, somehow a male got a chromosome that the female doesn't have. Interesting. It's very fascinating as to how that could have possibly happened. I wonder if it would make more sense if you had XY and then XX came from XY. That have the preceding capacity. You double up on one. Interesting. I wonder if that would be more plausible. I don't know. I don't know, folks. What do you think? Do you think that would be more plausible? Maybe I'm just totally wrong. Maybe I am totally wrong. But to me, that seems like a little bit more plausible conclusion. But who knows? Oh, wow. I must have missed that part. So Power Word says, Mark literally called Kent a dog. He said, bad Kent, sit. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, Marky Mark he's up there with some of the most obvious keyboard superpower warriors. Like, behind the screen on your computer in Australia, down under, it's like a big talker. I honestly wonder. It's one of the reasons I'm wanting to really put together some, like, in-person debates, because I really, really wonder how many atheists would actually have as much vitriol and big mouth, big talk, and artificial CO Jones as they do on YouTube. Like, would they actually say some of the stuff to people's faces? I don't think they would. I would anticipate. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but I would anticipate the vast majority would magically return to basic, generally accepted activities and standards for modern society. It's pretty funny for, even though atheists love to claim humanism and, everything prior to the last 30 years is just, barbarity and, whatnot, and yet act very similar to barbarians on the intellectual level. It's quite interesting. Big bad. How childish to call him Marky Mark. That means he owned you in the past and you're angry. Oh no. Big bad mama. I call him Marky Mark because for a variety of reasons. One, I mean, it's just Marky Mark, obviously referring to the good old Mark Wahlberg way back in the day, was where that nickname comes from. But the poserness of Mark is astonishing. I mean, it's really up there. It's way up there with on a whole other level. And no, he has not owned me. It's pretty funny. There's actually been times when we've had in after shows where folks who are like professionals in his same industry have schooled him so hard. And then yet again tonight, Mark was kept regurgitating his same talking points about like code and the way computers work and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, you polymorphic code, bro. That's just one thing that just completely defeats your entire supposed dismissal. But moreover, go watch the very recent interview with Mike Levin, I think his name is, and Lex. Oh man, what is his name? It's a freaking amazing podcast. Let's see. Lex Friedman. This is from 3 weeks ago. Fascinating conversation between those gentlemen. And it's so interesting how they go into like, so one guy is an AI programmer, right? The other guy is a biologist. And they go into this incredible deep dive about how the processing and computation that's happening in biological systems is like vastly superior to our computers, and how we are trying to create AI that can do what a biological system can do. And yet we're told by the Evo Atheist on YouTube that you can't do a comparison to the necessities because it does things that ours can't. I mean, it's like the IQ points are in full scale devolution when it comes to Evo Atheism. All right, let's see. All right, George says, how did the seahorse reproduce without the male? It's the male that gives birth. That's a very good point. Very good point. Pure Icy Gold. Marky Mark and the Monkey Bunch. Australia after party. I wonder if, like, speaking of that, I wonder if Mark is over there with begging Atheist Jr. to do an after show for him. Oh, doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe so. Let's see what's happening. Oh, no, that was the other day. Nope. Looks like there's no after show with Atheist Jr. for. Now that's a great point. Echoing says Mark still believes that Haeckel's fake drawings. Yep, that's very true. One of the things I find very fascinating about this stuff is, the atheists love to claim, unless you can prove X is false. It's like, that contradicts so many aspects of logic. You haven't proven it, therefore it's false. Isn't that the argument from ignorance? And yeah, I don't know. We're going to figure it out someday. We can't explain it. We're going to figure it out someday, but you're wrong. Like, come on, folks. Let's think about this. That's a good question, Power Word. Has Big Bad Mama literally ever debated anyone other than inside chat? Not real Big Bad in real life, eh? Well, yeah, that's a good question. So, Big Bad Mama, you ever going to hop on up into the after show and have some combo? Let's see what's up. What's up, P-Town? How you doing?
Oh, yo, I didn't expect you to bring me on right away. Figured there'd be a long list of people waiting. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Man, I'm hanging in there, doing a little bit of that. What were your thoughts about the debate tonight?
I thought it was pretty good. I have a few questions. I didn't really understand what they were talking about, to be honest with you. I was trying to understand Mark's point when it comes to what was it called again? What was the fancy word for these?
We talking about going on about like ERVs and
The ERVs, yeah,
yeah.
and how what they've discovered supposedly, and the connect, and how it's similar to their fancy tree of evolution before. Basically how the ERVs confirm that. Wasn't quite sure how. I wanted to know more about that.
Well, what's really interesting about it, one of the things I find very interesting about that whole argument, and it was very obvious if you were paying close attention to what Mark was saying, it was extraordinarily circular logic, right? Of these are here, and we know that the phylogenetic tree and the evolutionary timeline pathway that we have created, or we have inferred and claim is true, we know that that is true. Therefore, the ERVs must be there because of the evolutionary pathway that we have decided is proven by ERVs. And it's like, okay, well, you could apply the exact same. If you're claiming that can prove beyond all doubt your position, right? Then you have to also view that what's an alternative that could follow the exact same, follow a similar model, right? In this context of, everything in this, all these different types of organisms need X type of code function. Correct. Therefore, they all have the exact same code function in the same freaking folder. Like, gotcha. Why would that not be the case? In fact, that's exactly what the case would be. If it is a functional piece of code that is there for a specific reason, i.e., used for immune system defense against viruses and placental development, all these different things. If it's there specifically for that reason, and all of these different organisms have this same function, then why the hell wouldn't it be there if it was created from a code perspective, right?
Right.
And this is, I've gone on these diatribes so many times about frameworks and using scripts from GitHub and all these different places that are used. It's very common, right, nowadays. Like, or using an API, right? Let's say you have an app. There's 15 apps. They all have a map function, or you can connect to nav, right? And they all connect to the Google Maps API and follow the same rules for the Google Maps API. And then you do a code audit of all 15. And it's like, I don't understand why they all have these same connector functions to the Google Maps API. I just don't understand why. Why would anybody do that? Why would any designer do that? It's like, that's, what do you mean? That's exactly what a dev would do. They're connecting to the exact same. Anyway, go ahead.
So before I lose my train of thought, was he talking about some prior parts of the genome that are now extinct that that will tie us back to a common ancestor according to this overall theory, or is it just current characteristics that might be similar that would match?
I don't know all the things they're referring to specifically. They're talking because they claim a lot of this stuff doesn't do anything, right? So the vast majority of it is their claim. Even though on a monthly basis we keep discovering new things that it does do. We just didn't know to even look until relatively recently. But that's a whole other side topic. The point is that they claim that the only way it could possibly be there is the result of infection of a preceding common ancestor that inserted X ERV into the genome of that preceding ancestor, and then all descendants have it because their ancestor caught this virus, right? That must be 100% true because evolution is true.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not missing anything then.
No.
So it just blows my mind because I think we would agree with the atheists would agree with us hypothetically, way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth and or different animals of all kinds, the world was still populated with a lot of animals. There'd be a lot of specimen or a lot of specimen within a particular kind that's living on the planet. So how can you have mutations by viruses where all of the other animals would die or they would only, like, this one mutation or this one virus just infects a population that causes a specific mutation, and then all of the little lady animals would only mate with those ones with that special sickness mutation. Like, I don't understand the specifics of how this works. You follow me? I can't wrap my mind
No,
around it.
I get what you're saying. There's a lot of just, well, this is what must have happened and it's a plethora of just so stories is very dominant in the whole, way back in the day, as to your point, a long time ago in a jungle far, far away when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Yeah, I just want to make sure
I never observed what happened, but I infer this is what happened based on my worldview, and that all other inferences must be wrong because mine is 100% true. Because if it's not, then my worldview implodes. Therefore, you're wrong, and I'm not even going to consider what you say. And I'm also not actually going to know for myself. I'm going to just repeat what people tell me, and then when you call me out and ask me to expand upon it, I'm going to be like, "Well, I'm not an expert, so why are you expecting me to understand the point that I claim you're too dumb to understand?" Like,
yeah, point out the abstract of the paper, and then go, "Oh, but they followed processes and modules to come to there. It's not just, this is just the abstract." Well, show us the specifics. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I spent 4 hours almost with Mark a couple nights ago. I mean, the recording is on his channel, and I think the guy, I like talking to the guy, but just for atheists in general, I want to know more about their perspective and where they come to their conclusions. Because here, for example, on this topic, far, far, a long time ago, some bug, that has RNA injected and caused a mutation, or maybe multiple bugs within a population, and then we have these, supposedly millions of these mutations happen to form where we are now. Well, how come we can't observe one? Why can't we see one example in the world that we live in now? I can't figure out where they're coming from, when you dive deep into this stuff.
I agree. What's up, Power Word? Welcome to the after show. What are your thoughts about the debate tonight?
What's up? Good to see you fellas. It's been a while.
Hey, Power Word, I've missed you. How you been?
P-Town, my boy. Yeah, quick comment. So, that junk DNA thing was a thing a few years ago. And then I think Kent's point tonight was ERVs have function. And that's kind of where the pivot happened with evolutionists. They said, oh, well, okay, so it's no longer junk because it has function. But it looks like it's over here as well in this genome and this genome. Therefore, it must mean there's obviously common ancestry. But the reality is, just like you guys were talking about a minute ago, there's all kinds of parallels that can be drawn in the coding world. I like to draw the parallel with antivirus actual programs. ERVs could very well be the all of the different viruses and their signatures, and then this like virus encyclopedia. So essentially, when you get an infection, then your immune system makes a record of that infection in this. It's an ERV, and it kind of records it and can bring it up later when it's trying to fight something that looks similar. And to me, that makes total sense, and that would 100% explain why we have our ERVs in the first place. And saying from an evolutionary perspective, they exist in different genomes, therefore there's common ancestry, doesn't make nearly as much sense as saying we all live in the same world. We all get infected with the same stuff. Therefore, the insertions in our genomes would be similar.
Well, that was a really good explanation. Thanks for that, because now I'm kind of following the history of this, and I'm familiar with the junk DNA. I don't remember all the words. And then, so once we discovered it's not really junk, then of course the evolutionists are going to grab hold of that and use that new knowledge towards their, already decided, proven theory. Now, let me ask you a hypothetical. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. I don't mean to, but I really want to know more about this. Couldn't they go through there and look at these ERVs that don't exist in one population but do exist in another population? I don't know how they're looking at this through using fossils, but I mean, are they using fossils to look at this?
No, that's
Or they
Kent's point about you can't use fossils because you can't tell if they had babies or whatever. You can't actually get this ERV slash DNA from fossils, at least that I know about. So you can't
it's like
really.
looking at a screenshot and then being like, I know exactly the history of the code that enables this screenshot to exist. I mean, nobody, if that argument was ever made, you'd be looked at like you were a freaking moron. Like, we found a screenshot, stuck, in our USB that was frozen in ice. And then we dug it up and we plugged it in and we saw that there was we had the JPEG. And therefore, we were able to infer that how this screenshot came from this screenshot. Like, because there's like similarities in color and stuff. Like, they were all taken in the same browser. Therefore, they must have evolved from one another from a code perspective. Like, nobody would ever make that argument, right? You'd be considered a freaking moron. But
right.
This is what we're arguing here. What's Bio Research Tools? What's up, man? How you doing? How you been? Good to see you.
Hey, John, can you hear me?
Yep, coming through.
Oh, great. Been good. Long time no see. How's things been with you?
Oh, good. It hasn't actually hasn't been that long. It's been like 3 weeks. I'm back.
It
But
seems like forever, John. It's forever.
Well, folks, I just have a gigantic ego. It was so big that I was stuck in the doorway. I was unable to get back in. So I had to let my ego shrink down a little bit, and then now we're back. But what'd you think about the debate tonight?
I didn't watch very much of it. I've watched several of Mark's debates in the past with Kent, and it was the same old stuff. I never understand where he's coming from. It's like, I just don't understand where he gets this attitude. It's like he believes this stuff like it's a religion, but he never gives any evidence other than, well, it happened a long time ago. I give up on him. Oh, wait, I got a phone call. I'll be back in a minute.
Hey, Power, it's really, really good to see you. And you too, LPP. I'm going to go jump on, I think, to Mark's channel just because I spent so much time with him the other night.
Oh, nice. Oh, he's doing his own after show?
He's doing, I feel sorry for him. He's doing one for himself. Yeah, I would, so
Let's see.
I'm going to pop over there and
You can just conference us
hang out,
in
though.
on the call.
Yeah, he refused to come on over to where the real after show is. Okay, so in that line, when you're hopping off for to do that, let's test.
I can probably come back.
Oh yeah, no, you're good, man. Have fun over there. I'm sure it'll be interesting. I wonder if he's sniping me yet.
Oh, well, I can let you know. All right, guys.
Hey,
right, Power, I put my email in there because I wanted to be a way to communicate with you.
All right, so I'll send you something quick. Yeah, I'm open to any and all communication with you.
Cool, man. See you guys.
All right, so real quick, folks, we're going to test something out here. Link is coming into the side chat. So we're going to do a quick trivia contest. The first 20 people who click the link, hop on over there and sign up. We'll get to take part in this one. It's 15 questions, 20 possible slots. And let's see how we do here. So said link is now in the side chat. There's a code you'll have to type in. It's like I guess I need to give you guys the code too. Oops, dang it. Son of a. Well, I forgot to type in the code again. Let's delete that one. Problems with copy and paste here tonight.
By the way, John, I legit did think that something happened with you and the police, man, on that last little incident. Is everything good with the park activity?
Yep, yeah, it's all good. No, didn't I escaped the police. It was all good. No worries, not getting arrested. Although I tell you what, I actually would totally get down with that because it would be a hilarious arrest. Because the Nashville city law states that they're not allowed to forbid political, religious, or charity activities in public space. It's like a specific exclusion in the ordinance which forbids it or like prevents it, right? Or necessitates permits, things of that nature. So if I did get in trouble with the police, then they would be violating the law in of itself. And if I got arrested, which I don't think they would actually arrest me, but if they did, then it would be, I think the standard false arrest settlement is $50,000 in Nashville. So, you know, could be a nice little chunk of change.
I'll bail you out, man. Just give me some of that $50,000.
John, were you trying to get arrested?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Is there some stipulation about having a permit or anything like that?
Well, there are some things for for what I was doing, I don't think you actually have to have a permit, but I'm saying I'm just saying, even if there was a permit necessity, the permit law has an exclusion if you're there for the express purpose of religion, politics, or charity. Then you don't have to get the permit. So we'll see what. Okay, so right now we have how many people signed up? All right, we got 7 people. There's 13 slots left, so I'll give a few more minutes. People go and go sign up, go get your slot, and then we'll hop into this and see who's. We're doing this. First round is going to be just it's like general science stuff. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, so Power Word, were you watching the debate when Mark was going off on his usual tangent about how there's nothing comparable in biological systems to human technology and computers?
After at least 3 debates that I've seen with you, he still can't understand what information is and how DNA is the actual medium of information. That's like the most basic concept. And it's like, it's so frustrating because I've explained it to him. You've explained it to him. You know, that what you're talking about earlier with the JPEG picture, it's like you can put a JPEG into DNA. The DNA is not the information. It's merely holding the JPEG, the code for the JPEG. It's just it's so basic. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that night that who else was here? It was you and Pete. Who else was with you that night when you guys just were like, "Listen, we work in your industry, like we do this," and we're like, "Break." You remember that night? That was late. It was late one night.
Yeah. I do remember. There was 2 with him, and there was one where he went in depth into, networking and that kind of thing. And he claimed he knew everything about Cisco routers and communication systems, but yet the most basic fundamentals is just like he still to this day doesn't agree that. And I mean, I think most evolutionists would agree that DNA can store information and transmit information, but does not itself create information. So, yeah, I don't remember who was there, but I do. I remember laughing quite a bit. It was just for someone to claim that he knows information systems and he knows like the complexities therein, and then just only surface level talk about it, and then when he's pressed, just pivot. It's crazy. I don't understand.
I just put a link in private chat. You would love watching that. It's like a 3-hour combo, but man, it's what I was mentioning earlier about it's Lex Fridman's show. He's the AI researcher, and he sits down with all sorts of people, all sorts of disciplines, and discusses things with them. And they're sitting there like him and Michael Levin, who's a biologist. They get in this like crazy detailed about all this like ridiculous computation that's going on, and he's having his mind blown to like how advanced this is. So we have a freaking PhD AI researcher who's having his mind blown at what's going on in computation inside of biological systems. And then we got people like Marky Mark running around claiming that it's nothing even needs to be accounted for. Just sad. Very sad. Okay, let's see where we are here. All right, we're at 9. Okay, folks, we got 11 slots left. Seriously, this is just for fun. This is not that big a deal. There's no like, you don't have to feel bad. G-Moose, there's multiple choice questions. There's like a couple short answers. It's mostly multiple choice. This stuff is not like crazy complicated. This is not like some high level stuff. It's just for fun. All right, well, we're going to start in 3 minutes. I guess if nobody's we'll see how many people we get. There's 20 slots open. Philip, let's see. Philip Evans says, but I got straight A's. To this day, I can recite Johannes Kepler's 3 laws of planetary motion. Johannes Kepler, that's funny. Oh, we got Andrew Cummings in the house. What's up, Andrew? Michael, bold as a lion. How you doing? Chaser is here. Doki, the one and only Doki. I can't believe I didn't notice Doki Doki was here. What's up, Doki Doki? How you doing? Good to see you. As always, Genesis Girl's here. I guess Dan's still on the phone.
No, I'm back, John. I just didn't want to interrupt. It was just a short call. I was just listening. It's pretty good stuff. I think I was in on a conversation like this at one time, and I design software for businesses, different businesses as a consultant, mostly for problem solving. And when I hear some of these people talk about the code, it just blows my mind. I try to explain to them it's like music. It's abstract. It's just information. It's in your mind, and like math, and it doesn't really. The only way you can convey it is put it on a medium, like math. You put it on paper or in a calculator, or music. You write down the scores or store it on a music disc. But even with that, they don't understand it. That DNA is the information. DNA holds the information. The information is the code, the abstract code. To me, it's so simple. It blows my mind. They don't understand it.
Yeah, it really is. It really is sad. I don't know.
Maybe they do understand it. Maybe it's just being contrary. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're all pretending. I mean, it's just hard to believe anybody like that engineer guy. What kind of engineer was he, or is he? What's his name? Something engineer.
You're talking about Godless Engineer.
Godless engineer. Is he really an engineer?
Yeah, it's sad.
He's the biggest one that it's just like he looks like he believes what he's saying.
Oh no, he definitely believes. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Okay, folks, we are going to get ready. So anybody who is going to be playing in the trivia contest, get over to your screen. I am about to start things off here. So, it's the first time I've done this, so hopefully it'll go well. It should be fun. Let's see. All right. So we're going to skip countdown. And first question should be ready to rock and roll for everybody. And for those of you who aren't playing, I'll read it. What is lead's symbol on the periodic table? Is it La, Ld, Le, or Pb? All right. Time is up. Hopefully, let's see. Let's see. 4 people got it right. 1 person got it wrong. And I guess a bunch of other people were not there in time. So we have 11 players. So I guess somebody didn't get there in time. Okay, folks, here we go. About to go on to question number 2. So if you're not in there, get ready because the next question is about to come up. I'll give it a slight delay in case to account for lag time. But here we go, folks. Get ready. And the question is, hepatitis, derived from Greek, is the inflammation of tissue in which organ? Is it your kidneys, your liver, your stomach, or your spleen? Let's see. Looks like, okay, so we got 5 people got it correct. It was your liver, and 1 kidneys guess, and 1 spleen guess. So making some progress here. All right, here we go. Next question coming up here in just a second. Get on ready. And isotopes of chemical elements have a different number of blank. And you got to type it in. So make your best guess, folks.
Didn't get in time.
Let's see.
I typed it wrong. I never got it typed right.
Well, the correct, okay, no questions got submitted. Okay. The correct answer was neutrons. So I guess we have a massive fail across the board there. Okay, so the next
Everybody knows that answer. They probably couldn't type neutron like me.
The neutrons didn't fit in the number of dashes available.
Oh, yeah, I would like it to. Okay, so here we go. Next question is coming up here in just a second. It's isotopes of chemical elements have a different number of. Oh, whoops! Oh, dang it! I went to the wrong question. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I think I did. Dang it! I double clicked. Okay, so it's in cells, ribosomes link amino what together? Okay, we have 4 people got amino acids correct, and 1 person said teddy bears.
That was my second choice.
Nice. Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. Next question coming up here. Let's go with it. Singultus is the Latin term for which involuntary bodily function? Is it A, burping, B, sneezing, C, hiccuping, D, farting? So
that
burping,
was my second choice.
sneezing, hiccuping, or farting? All right, looks like we've got 6 people got it right. The correct answer is hiccuping, and then the other votes went to sneezing. All right, next question is acceleration equals change in velocity over what? And no, the number of dashes do not equal the number of letters in this. So acceleration equals change in velocity over what? All right, getting some votes to get some answers in here. All right, we've got 5 people got it correct with time. And we had distance and inertia were also some answers that were given. So congratulations, everybody got that one right. Okay, next question coming on up is which planet is known as the red planet? This is a super easy one. Let's see, it looks like we're getting a bunch of correct answers so far. Yep, everybody got it correct. 100%, folks. This is the first question. 100% correct. And it's Mars. Good job, everybody. All right, question number 8. The father of evolutionary theory, Charles Darwin, studied various species found on which group of islands? Is it A, the Galapagos, B, Hawaiian, C, Maldives, D, Falkland Islands? Where did Darwin do all of his studies? Or not all of them, but like a good portion of his studies. Which group of islands? And again, we've got 100% correct answers. Galapagos. Correct. Good job, everybody. All right. Question number 9. What is the range of the pH scale? Is it 0 to 8, 0 to 10, 0 to 12, or 0 to 14? Oh, man. Looks like we got people changing votes or changing answers and bouncing back and forth. Wow, this is the most diverse question so far. So 4 of you got it correct, which is 0 to 14. So there's 7 positive and 7 negative. And then every other answer got multiple votes. So nice little split up there. Okay. Up next, question number 10. So we got 15 total questions, folks. Question number 10. In 1980, a major eruption occurred at which volcano? Is it A, Mount St. Helens, Mount Adams, B, Mount Baker, C, Mount Rainier, or D, Mount St. Helens? And looks like everybody is correct. It is D, Mount St. Helens. All right, question number 11. What is the common unit of measurement for the relative loudness of a sound? Is it A, Dolby, B, decibels, C, Lang scale, or D, sonics? What is the common unit of measurement for the relative loudness of a sound? Man, okay, now we're on a streak here, folks. Another group correct answer, and it's B, decibels. All right, question number 12. What is the term for a physical object's resistance to any change in its position and state of motion? Is it A, inertia, B, friction, C, torque, or D, velocity? Oh, man, this one's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. All right, the correct answer is A, inertia. And only 2 of you got that one correct, but good job, everybody else. Friction's a good guess there. All right. Question number 13. Which of these animals is an amphibian? Is it A, ant, B, deer, C, L, D, frog? Which one of those is an amphibian? I wonder if that's actually supposed to be eel, not L. Yep, everybody got this one correct. It is D, frog. All right, question number 14. Where's the leaderboard on this? Let me see. I'll look at the standings here in a second. Okay. Next question. Covering 2.7 million square miles of Earth's surface, the Amazon rainforest produces what percent of the Earth's oxygen? Is it 5, 15, 20, or 30%? Now, according to Marky Mark, plants do not need oxygen to exist. So just keep that in mind as you guess. What percent of the world's oxygen is produced by the Amazon rainforest? And this was another very diverse one, but 4 of you got it correct. The answer is C, 20% of Earth's oxygen. All right, final question. Here we go. Get ready. Albert Einstein received the Nobel Prize in which field of study? Is it A, biology, B, chemistry, C, medicine, or D, physics? And thank goodness we have 100% accuracy on which one it was for him. Okay, so let's see. All right, so game is over. It will end. All right, let's see. Okay, it's going to show me the leaderboard or what? Okay, rankings. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. So without a doubt, Dan came out the leader. He got 13 of 15 correct. Jamie, 12 of 15. Power Word, 12 of 15. And Toxic Gamer, 10 of 15. And Ozzy came in. Oh, he tied. Him and Toxic Gamer tied. Both had 10 correct. So good job, guys.
That rainforest question wasn't fair. I didn't have a clue how to answer that one.
All right.
Either know it or you don't.
All right. So, like, I don't know. What did you guys think? How did that go for the first round of testing out the deal? What do you guys think, audience?
It's
I love to
fun.
hear this in the side chat. Let me know what you guys thought. If that was fun, we might do it. Turn it into a regular thing.
What do we do now? Do we get out?
Yeah, y'all can hop off right now. I may do another round here in a little bit. And so, Utopia Buster, we just did trivia round 1, but I've got a couple other ones that I set up earlier that in the system. So, if in a little bit we decide to do another round, we can flip it up and see what happens. Yeah, Cheryl, I know the timing got screwed up on how we did the next one. The timing is not going, so you don't have to like wait for me to read the question, obviously. And so that one was based on timers. I wanted to see how bad it would be on that first round. But the next round version will just be based on elimination. So it won't be how fast you did it. It will be whether or not you got it right or wrong. And so yeah, it's all be based on elimination. Let's see. I didn't know there's a link. Did I not pin the link for it? Dang it. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you weren't already signed up prior to the game starting, you wouldn't have been able to join anyway. Let's see what Michael says. But I ain't gonna lie, I used to hate it when like school would give me multiple choice questions for a question that was a freaking absolutely ridiculously hard. That's amazing. Anyway. Oh, so have you guys been following the madness of the world for the past couple of weeks? Or have you been like refusing to look at the news?
It's pretty bad. Our economy's shot. Our society's run by a bunch of perverts, and especially our schools. Well, except in Florida, thanks to Governor DeSantis. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oh, did you see the guy they chose as the new British Prime Minister?
Oh yeah,
He's an EU guy all the way.
Well, it's pretty obvious that he's they've made him be a political puppet because, I mean, very obvious in my opinion, because all the live streams that were going on, every news article, first Indian origin Prime Minister of Great Britain. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Can you talk about having a more like just stereotypical, predetermined little puppet to insert into the equation to like do the globalist talking points? I mean, it's like, really, you guys aren't even hiding the fact that you're playing the puppetry now? Come on.
But did you hear about what's going on with the red heifers?
I did hear about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got shipped. Like, I think 5 of them got shipped over to Israel, didn't they?
Yeah. There hasn't been a single one in the last 2,000 years. And this year, there's 5 that are over there in Israel, and they're just waiting for them to become of age to perform the barbecue.
Well, did you guys see that Saudi Arabia is joining the BRICS nations?
I think I read something about that.
Yeah. So anybody who claims that we're not about to be toast is living in fantasy land. As we've all discussed many times, the second the petrodollar is no longer in place to maintain the dollar as a reserve currency, the United States economically implodes.
That's not true. The second somebody decides that the petrodollar is no longer in place, the United States attacks the Middle East to make it stop.
Well,
'Cause,
that might also happen.
We don't have any weapons left. We gave them all to Ukraine.
That's true.
That's
Oh,
another
that is
bad
true.
news.
That is true. Did you see the whole report last week that from the Pentagon that we're down to like 300 missiles? It's
I
like,
think it takes like 10 years to replace them at the rate they build them. So we've given away so many, what's the name of them? Real,
more cruise
uh,
missiles, I mean?
yeah, it's a very, very good missile, but it has a very common name. But anyway, I heard just today that they're down to such a low level that it would take 10 years, I think a decade or somewhere around in there to build them back up to the original level that they were when all this started. I
Right.
guess they're pretty hard to make.
No, I don't think we have anything to worry about. We're the country that owns the patent for that Tic Tac UFO, and that thing can destroy literally like the Earth if we wanted to make it happen.
I've
So
never heard of that. Tell
have
me
you ever
about it.
seen the? I mean, come on, like every show on TV for a while was showing these Tic Tac videos with the Navy pilots trying to catch these things.
Oh, I don't watch TV. I'm sorry. That's why I've never heard
I know
of it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I'll just post the patent for it in side chat. But the bottom line is, if you actually look at it within the patent itself, it talks about the capabilities of this thing, and the only reason why it was funded in the first place was because there was the idea that if we ever had an asteroid that was coming near to Earth, you could just
Oh,
use 4 of these and surround it and basically just annihilate it.
yeah, I
And
read something about that where they were able to knock an asteroid off course or something like that.
no, so
I,
that's a different project. That was like a NASA project, and they just recently did that. But this is just specifically to annihilate it. Like actually, I'll just post the paper.
sounds
It's a
like
good
Star
read.
Wars.
Are you
Listen,
saying
the
the
death.
UFO that the pilot saw or whatever is a U.S. patent?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
What's up, Jimmy? Welcome to the stream. Did you see the debate, or are you just hopping in for after show fun?
Yeah, I did not see the debate.
Right. Would you? What have you thought about the after show so far? What's your opinion?
I think that that trivia thing is a good idea. It's a fun idea.
Yeah, just be a matter of like figuring out the timing logic and stuff. But yeah, I think it'd be fun.
I think that's just like something I was thinking would be cool to have, like a cool program to use. Like if you could do something like that, it'd be fun to have, like a game show type of thing where you could have people play and join,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that for a while. Like if you could somehow come up with, I mean, I guess you could do it with like, can't people like program OBS or whatever, or like for like a live stream or use OBS? I don't even know what that really is, but
No, I mean, it's definitely doable. The question, like doing like the live, like a trivia contest all at Jeopardy online is hard because of the lag time. Like how do
where's
you
that 5G coming in or whatever?
wave of 5G? I mean, just depending on basic distance, right?
I just remember them talking about like how it would revolutionize, being able to not have lag or whatever.
Well, it's dramatically lessened lag time, but it's still there. And there's other, just because you're sending, there's not necessarily as much lag on your end, doesn't mean it doesn't run into bottlenecks on the other end,
I just heard them talking about how it would, I don't know if it's to get enough stations up or whatever, but being able to actually handle autonomous vehicles and real-time surgeries and stuff for robotic surgeries, stuff like that. I don't know how that works exactly, but just that it would be quick signaling, real-time stuff from far away.
Yeah, who knows?
I like that.
What's up, Bubblegum Gun? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Did you see the debate?
Yeah, I got part of it. I got the ERV part. I just came to because I'm having a debate coming up with Marky Mark on the November 4th, but I don't have a partner.
I can't. I don't want to deal with Marky Mark. What are you debating him on?
Evolution and James from MDD won't let me do a 1v1. I want to do a 1v1, but he won't let me.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that will be a dumpster fire.
Because
I'm sure I would actually be entertained to see you and Mark do a one-on-one. That would actually be pretty funny. That would be an epic dumpster fire. There's no doubt about it.
yeah.
Seriously, audience or people in the side chat, do you think that Bubblegum versus Marky Mark would be a hilarious dumpster fire debate? Say yes or no. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because I don't know who to get a partner because I only trust you and Insanity for True. Because like a lot of people who debate for creationist are pretty dumb. Despite Sal knowing his stuff, he's not a very good speaker. That's his trouble, and then he gets really bad partners. I don't know why he keeps doing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with Sal. Did you guys see the debate he had with Aaron Raw and who's the other person he was with?
Cindy, Kent's ex-wife.
That was his partner. But I'm saying it was Marky Mark, or sorry, it was Aaron Raw and Dr. the neurologist guy.
Yeah, I remember. I got him to ask him the question on the super chats. The dog question. He didn't know either. Of course, none of them can answer it. It's unanswerable because it didn't happen.
Yeah, there we go. Andrew says Dr. Chris Thompson. That's right. Yep.
So if anybody wants to be my partner, I'm very scrutinous because I really think a lot of people on the creationist side who debate are not that good. Pretty bad, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, the debaters, let's just be honest. Debate is much more difficult than people think. And a lot of people freeze in the moment of truth. And
that and the moderating, because when you enter a room when there's it's clearly biasly moderated, they're not going to let you have the stage, and they're just going to let their side pretty much take over.
Yeah, our debate with, Snake and AJ were acting like douchebags back before the debate ever started. They were acting like me calling them out was before we even go live, and forcing them to actually act like freaking adults was somehow unreasonable.
Yeah. They look completely foolish because they weren't ready for that because they can't debate within the circle of genetics. All their arguments are based around the pre-genetics, so they can make any hypothetical and they can lie. But as soon as they step within the circle of I can falsify your claim by genetics, they can't do that. And that's what my position does, is it takes away that platform. And for a long time, you Christians have been just giving it to them. And here I come and just take it away, and they got nothing.
Yep. Okay, so folks, I'm about to post a link for the second trivia game. I just realized, which I can't believe I didn't see this. There was actually an option for me to have added this and created a multiple rounds that would all the leaderboard would have stayed with it, but apparently I forgot. I didn't realize to do that. So whatever. This game will be a standalone. I don't know. Actually, that would make sense because there's a bunch of people who weren't in here when did before. Okay, so theoretically, at least from what the software claims to do, people who have already inserted their information, they theoretically, when they click on this next thing I'm about to do, should already have their profile, should already be in place. But if it's not, well, we'll have to do it again. Hopefully that's not what happens. We'll see.
Yeah, I just want to put out a word. If anybody wants to be my partner, just hit me with a message. But you will have to go under my position because I won't. I don't trust a lot of you. In fact, all of you.
All right. So, hang on, what did you just say? You
said
don't-
he didn't want a debating partner.
Yeah, I need a debating partner. So I'm like, if you want to be my debating partner, send me a message. But you will have to go under my position. I won't let you use your position because I do not. Your position.
So, in other words, you don't want a debating partner.
Yeah, no, I don't. You're right. I don't want a debating partner. I just want like a puppet.
Is your position polytheism?
Yeah.
I'd like to debate you on that right now.
You're not gonna win, buddy.
So, what gods do you believe in?
I actually debated this with Darth Dawkins. I told him my God is my ultimate is chaos, and Darth Dawkins has admitted it's either Christ or chaos.
So, if it was chaos, would there be miracles possible in the name of chaos?
And here's the thing: chaos is the ultimate, but he's not the creator. So I would say that Jesus is perhaps a creator God, but I wouldn't say he's the ultimate.
So, chaos was not created.
No, he is the ultimate.
Okay, so if you believe chaos pre-existed the existence of our dimension, then how can you explain the preeminence of anything else?
For example, here it's very simple. Would you since my ultimate is chaos, right? You understand that. So would you agree that God created the universe using order?
God existed before the universe. Our dimension contains chaos, but prior to our dimension, there was no chaos.
No, I'm saying I'm asking, did God create the universe using order?
God pre-existed everything. The universe doesn't exist in the ultimate's mindset.
Well, would you agree that God created the universe?
You're way past what we're talking about. You're talking about the ultimate, right? Which pre-existed everything, correct?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the universe. We're talking about before creation, before there was chaos, there was God, which means God trumps chaos.
No, I'm trying to I'm trying to get you to reveal chaos to yourself.
Chaos is bound by time, correct?
No.
So how can chaos?
We both agree that,
exist without things interacting with one another?
So, like, for example, we would both agree that the universe was created, right, by a God.
But that's past the point of the. You initially said that chaos is the ultimate.
Yes.
But the problem with that is the ultimate existed before chaos existed. Therefore, the ultimate trumps chaos.
No, the ultimate is chaos.
No, chaos cannot exist if there is nothing. Chaos requires something.
No, chaos is not a thing. For example, we would both agree that the universe was created by God, right?
Does chaos require matter?
No.
Does chaos require time?
No.
So chaos exists in, are you talking about like metaphysically, or are you talking about like in terms of a concept?
Well, I wouldn't say chaos exists in the same way I wouldn't say God exists, because exist would mean it began to, exist. It had a beginning. Because what exists would fall in that definition. So the word, the definition exists does not apply to God.
I say that chaos could not exist until we had politicians.
Okay, hey, real quick interjection. Okay, folks, I got the link fixed. So link is to the next round of trivia is pinned inside chat. Let me know if it's working or not. We'll give it like 5 or 6 minutes before we get going on that. So click the link, use the code 9RRJA to enter, and then we'll get it going here in just a little bit. Okay, go ahead, guys.
Okay. I'm trying to get you to answer this very simple question. We would both agree that the universe was created by God, right?
And I'm trying to make the point that the ultimate does not require a creation.
Yes, I agree with that too. But we were talking about the universe. The universe was created.
The universe, as we see it, are you talking about like our dimension?
You know the thing we live in, the Big Bang, supposedly, that everything around you, existing.
So if you're talking about Genesis, it was in the beginning God created the heavens with an S and the earth. That is 3 heavens, and that is not just our universe or what you're calling our universe, but it's also, I would say, an extra dimensionality.
If God creates another heaven or another universe, that's fine. But we would both still agree that this universe was created by God.
Yes, and it was created orderly.
Yes,
very
correct.
Tuned for life.
Exactly. It was correct.
That was the ethic,
Bingo.
you might say, of the scientific revolution. These people believed that instead of Aristotelian reason, where they said, well, God can do this, God can do that. These people say, well, God can do everything. It just so happened he created an orderly universe.
Exactly.
That was a principle of the scientific revolution.
So yes, what Bible research said is the absolute truth. It was created.
There was no chaos.
Wait. More importantly, it was created orderly. So God is the order bringer. So when fucking fucktard atheists claim like, oh, there's no logic, no idiot. You want disorder. It's like those dumb libertarians or dumb liberals who like rant against the government and not acknowledge it is because of that order provided by government and the defense that you're able to live in this non-disorder, almost like chaotic anarchistic, the negative kind of anarchism, the Mad Max type. So we acknowledge that in this universe created by God, He has provided the order. He has provided this haven in which humans can live away from the chaos. But when we say order created, when we say God created this universe with order, we have to presuppose chaos, the ultimate.
Not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily.
Where's the chaos?
Order presupposes
chaos, and then God created the heaven and the earth out of chaos.
No, He is the order bringer.
Well, I'd say He just spoke. That's all He needs to do. And the earth was there, and it was a big ball of water.
Yeah, I mean that's what a hierarchy is, just order. And you can go to we can just go back to the last point of order, or a hierarchy, or gods, or God. But we would still presuppose chaos.
No.
I don't see any chaos until Satan showed up.
If you're saying order presupposes chaos, then before there was order, there was still God.
No, the order is the ultimate. Order, that's my God.
I mean, you can define it however you want, but that doesn't make it true.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's revealed to you. This is what it means to be revealed.
It's revealed in this creation.
Yes.
But it's not revealed through God. God pre-exists the creation.
No, we have to reference the ultimate. So when we reference chaos, we're referencing the ultimate.
But you don't have to at all. Before God created the universe, before God created the universe, there was no chaos.
Yes.
There was no order.
That's the thing. Order presupposes chaos, so we have to reference chaos. And there's no way around that.
I don't get it.
You're not listening. God existed before there was order. Therefore,
yes,
chaos.
God brought the order. Okay, look, chaos isn't the same thing as disorder. Disorder presupposes order, but order presupposes chaos.
I'll give you that. God.
It's a circular argument. I'm not sure where you're going, Bubblegum. What is this all about?
Okay, it's about when we're talking about the TAG argument. We're talking about which is referencing the ultimate. So what happens is like in every culture across like separately from the Aztecs to like the Egyptians and the Greeks, we keep finding that they all keep coming back to chaos as their ultimate. So why is it that the chaos is being revealed to them and not Jesus?
I must have missed a few words there. I don't
Yeah,
still don't understand.
Yeah, I think I could have explained it a little bit better. And it's not your fault. I'm not a very good public speaker myself. I'm just a gamer.
All right, so on that note, we're going to hop on over to the next trivia round. So right now we've only got 8 players. We've only have 8 players. So anybody wants to jump in, we're about to get started on trivia. So hop on over, click the link, go put in your nickname, and we will get started here in 1 minute. So get on ready, and we will get things going for the next round. Let's see. It'll be interesting to see who wins this one. Will Dan win 2 rounds in a row? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I bet there's a bunch of people using Google.
And I just want to say hashtag not all libertarians and not all liberals. It's just the ones that hate government for the sake of hating government. It's like, shut up.
All right. All right, we got 9 players. Let's get 10. Let's get one more, and then we will get it going. One more person. Click that link, hop on over, and let's get going on this game. This one is going to be on, I think the category I did for this one is like measurements, I believe. That's what it was for. It's like distance and measurements, like different ways you measure things. All right, let's see. We got 10. Do we have 10? Do we have 10? Nope, we still got 9. One more. Come on. One person. There. How many people? We got 42 people watching this right now, and we can only get 9 who want to take part in their next round of trivia. Come on, folks. There's at least one more who's going to hop in here. Just click that nickname. Get on over there, folks. Let's do this. All right. Well, I guess we will just get started with 9. I'll give it 30 more seconds, and then we will get going. All right, this round, folks, this is elimination rather than just points. If you get eliminated, it says that you'll still be able to keep answering questions even if you get eliminated. But we'll play till the well, I guess we won't play always last man. But at the last question, so we'll see who's left. But we're going for basically the last person standing for victory versus just points. So, all right, without further ado, let's get it going. And we're gonna see, we're counting down. Are we going? Did anybody see that one right? Okay, did the question pop up, or just start counting down for the next one? I'm not sure what just happened there. Okay, people saw it. Okay. So that question, folks, was a furlong, most often used in horse racing as a unit of distance equivalent to how many yards? And the correct answer was 220. And we had a very diverse answer on that one, but two people got that one correct. Okay, here we go. We're going to go to the next question. Let's see what happens. And next question, get ready, everybody who is playing, because it is I'm about to switch it over before I read it. So just you guys pay attention because it's about to go. All right, here we go. In the award-winning musical Rent, the famous song Seasons of Love lets you know there are how many minutes in a year. Is it 125,600, 325,600, 525,600, or 725,600? How many minutes are there in a year? Man, we're getting some diverse answers in this one too. So one person got it correct at 525,600 minutes in a year. Okay, let's see. All right, coming on to the next question. Man, I guess everybody's almost eliminated here. I'm looking at the leaderboard. This is fast. Okay, the U.S. uses the pound to measure weight. What British imperial unit does the United Kingdom and Ireland still use to measure body weight? Oh man, I remember this one as a kid. Is it A, stones, B, boulders, C, rocks, or D, pebbles? And looks like we got 5 of you got it correct. It's A, stones. And I believe that a stone is equal to, like, I think it's 15 pounds. I think so. It comes out to something like that. Okay, next question. Or question number 4. If you go to a bakery and order a baker's dozen, how many of that item will you receive? Looks like we're coming up on everybody got it correct. It's 13. The baker's dozen is 13. All right. Next question is coming up. Everybody pay attention. It's about to come live. Let's see here. Question number 5. Which of the following antiquated units of volume is actually the largest? Is it A, bushel, B, gill, C, peck, or D, barrel? And looks like, oh man, 2 of you got that one correct. D, barrel. All right, next question. A horse's weight is generally measured in what unit named for a human body part, each equivalent to 4 inches? This is a tough one if you've never ridden horses before. Let's see. Right now we got okay, we got 2. Only 2 of you got this one correct. All right, interesting. All right, coming up next, we've got, while these seem like colloquial words for time, they are real measurements. Which of these is the shortest period of time? Is it A, shake, B, jiffy, C, micro fortnight, or D, moment? Oh man, nobody got this one correct. You are all eliminated, although we can continue on for the rest of the game. It is A, shake was the correct answer. So everybody would actually be eliminated at this point. Well, we'll continue on here. Let's see. Question number 8. In computer terms, what cutesy word for a tiny bite of food also describes half a byte of memory? Is it A, nibble, B, nosh, C, sample, or D, bit? Oh man, almost everybody was wrong. They went with D, bit, but the actual correct answer was A, nibble. So whoever got that one right, congratulations. All right, next question. Nuclear scientists will often cite a what equivalent dose, meaning the amount of radiation a person would absorb by eating one of what fruit? Is it pineapple, banana, apple, or orange? I would have gotten this one way wrong. Nuclear scientists will often cite a blank equivalent dose, meaning the amount of radiation a person would absorb by eating one of what fruit? I had no idea on this one. So nobody got this one correct. A bunch of you guessed apple, and the correct answer was actually banana. I never would have thought that. That is interesting. Okay. All right. Question number 10. In the U.S., if a bottle of vodka is marked as 100 proof, what percentage of the spirit is alcohol? Is it 25%, 40%, 50%, or 100%? I guess we're going to find out real soon on this last question. How many of you are raging alcoholics who know exactly what proof means? And, well, I guess could be something you learned in, your younger days. Now you're not an alcoholic, but you just remember it from, the formative years when you learn all this stuff. Let's see who got it right. Okay, we have all but one of you got it correct, and that is 50%. All right, congratulations, everybody. Appreciate y'all taking part in this. And let's see, how did things turn out on this one? So we had one survivor. I was one survivor, but he made it halfway, and Power Word actually made it the longest of anybody. It's a good job, Power Word. Nicely done. Good job on that. All right. Well, thanks everybody for playing in this round. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Power Word. Nicely done.
I'd just like to point out that I did get the nibble answer correct, proving my background in computer science.
Hey, I have a background in computers and I missed it.
It was tricky.
It's not the kind of stuff we talked about a lot.
Yeah, a bit is actually 1/8 a byte. So just FYI.
I remember that word. I remember that word from a long time ago, but it's been a long time ago. Nibble. Yeah, I remember that word, but I'll be darned. The only one that I should have known I didn't get. Well, of course, I didn't get a lot of them on this one. I'm not very good in trivia.
Yeah, this one was actually pretty hard. I was surprised at the
horse thing. You never did give the right answer for that. I don't think.
Hand.
What was that? A hand?
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't fast enough to type it in.
Yeah, I'm thinking
okay.
for I'm thinking for like doing it like this. I need to just delete or just not have any short answers. They need to all be multiple choice.
Yeah, it's really hard for people on mobile devices too. But I would like to dispute one of those answers. It specifically said that this unit of measure was antiquated. And John, I would like to ask you, you were talking about the petrodollar earlier. In what unit do we measure oil?
Barrels.
And that was the antiquated measure?
That's a good point.
The barrel is antiquated, but the unit is not. So that was sort of a trick question.
That was misleading question.
That's fair.
That's why I didn't say that.
All right. Okay. So real quick. So Cheryl says too fast. Ryan says tried to type. Not enough time. Okay. So would everybody agree? Let me know in the side chat. Would everybody agree that they all need to be multiple choice, and we just need to eliminate any short answer questions?
Multiple guess sounds good to me.
I
can't type worth a darn.
I got a quick message from Chasers. He says, "Ask me how cows were derived from wild aurochs thousands of years ago when they went extinct in the 17th century." So there you go.
I did not. I say that again. I didn't follow you.
Whoa.
Okay, Chaser says, "Ask me how cows were derived from wild aurochs thousands of years ago if aurochs went extinct in the 17th century." 17th. Blah, blah. Okay, there you go, Chaser.
I give up.
Well, apparently evolutionists say that the all cows come from the auroch. But the auroch went extinct in the 17th century, like in the year 1600, which wasn't that long ago. So some evolutionists would say like that they can't be alive. Like, for example, that's something that like it's the same thing as saying if we evolved from monkeys, how come the monkeys are still alive? Because we didn't evolve from monkeys. So like if all the cows evolved from the aurochs, why are the aurochs still alive in the 1700s? Well, they would say it didn't evolve from the aurochs. I don't know, but then that's the consensus. So unless they want to say all cows within like the last 400 years all suddenly evolved from the auroch, so it's like rapid evolution. I'm not sure if that makes sense to y'all. Silence.
I'd like to make a final comment on our chaos discussion after this aurochs question is answered.
No, go ahead. You guys get back into it. Go ahead.
Well, no, Chaser just asked me to ask. Chaser asked me to ask Chaser that question. So I don't know. Just come on in, Chaser. I don't want you in the side chat.
So Bubble,
Yeah.
I looked up the etymology of the word chaos, and would you agree that it comes from the late 15th century Greek, denoting a gaping void or chasm, later formless primordial matter?
I probably agree with the primordial matter part. I wouldn't say void because depends. Like, do you truly believe nothing exists? Because like that's not a thing that exists, right?
Sure it is. But okay, in Genesis 1:1, we already talked about that. And the earth was without form and void. So in Genesis 1:1 and 1:2, it specifically talks about the creation of chaos. So the final word that I would say is God pre-existed chaos. Chaos was created in the beginning. Therefore, God is more ultimate than that which he created.
No, I think chaos is an actual entity, or I don't know, this primordial quote unquote matter, which would be an entity. And because I don't think the creator God of this universe would create chaos. That just seems counterintuitive. It's like he ordered it. Now you're gonna disorder it. I don't. It's not reasonable.
Word, it depends on how you describe form. You know, it says without form. What does that mean? It doesn't. Does that mean chaos, or does that mean that it had no features?
So, literally, in the definition I just read, which Bubble agreed to, it said later formless primordial matter. This is
and that's
literally
15th century.
15th century, yeah.
What did it mean? What did the Hebrew word mean 6,000? Well, it wasn't Hebrew word 6,000 years ago. Let's say what did it mean 3,500 years ago when Moses transcribed the words of God into Genesis?
So formless and void were both used in literally the exact same verse. So whether you agree or disagree with void, or whether you prefer formless primordial matter, either way, it was still created. Therefore, it did not exist.
Well, no. For example, I think in Greek mythology it says it's the state preceding creation.
Not according. Okay, well, actually, just post the link to that definition, and I can go with that.
Sure. Here.
Too much for me.
Well, yeah, it's not like I can like try imagining chaos in your head. You can't, and that's probably a good thing because the reason we have these wonderful things. Somebody's playing music out there.
In what you just posted, it says the mythological void state.
Yeah, preceding creation.
Yeah,
that's the important
exactly.
part.
That's exactly what Genesis describes. That's before God creates everything. Literally, this is what you're describing is Genesis 1:1 and 1:2.
Yeah, preceding creation. That means it's presupposing order.
Preceding the creation.
So
we realize there's 6 days of creation,
yeah.
Right? So this is preceding the 6 days of creation, correct?
Yeah, before.
Right? Which means this was initiated by a greater source. You don't agree with that?
That's the thing. You don't create. No, that's the thing. You don't create chaos. You can only bring about order.
You keep saying chaos, but the definition is void state preceding the creation of the universe. That's what you just posted. So instead of saying chaos, say mythological void state, and then say what you just said, you don't create mythological void state. However, my paradigm, which is Genesis, literally disagrees with you 100% because the mythological void state was literally the first thing in creation. It became everything else based on Jesus, and the power of the Word.
I don't see it because it says preceding creation, so that's perfectly in line with what I said, which means creation presupposes chaos.
Do you know the creation story in Genesis?
No, I'm gonna say no. I don't.
Okay, so in the beginning is the beginning of time. God created the heavens, plural, which is multidimensional.
Well, no, in the beginning
And the
was the
earth.
word. The beginning was the word, right?
That's John, but yeah. So
But
how that works is
That
the
was
creative
God.
power. The creative power of God is Jesus.
Well, that's the thing. The word is order, and the
And
word
the
is God.
word, the
And the
word is
was
what
with God.
specifically was the agent of creation.
Yes, and the word was with God. So God is the order bringer. He is the word bringer. He brings the word because you need this order to have. Because for anything to exist, for anything to be created, you first need to presuppose order. Nothing is going to get created without order. First, having order. So God needs to bring in the order first before anything else.
So what was there before creation?
Before creation, before the word was chaos.
You just keep saying that. It's funny. All right. Like your definition, what you posted, is mythological void state. It's defined in Genesis, and God preceded the mythological void state. You keep just saying chaos, but you're disagreeing with yourself. Like you posted the literal definition of it, and you're just pivoting around the word chaos.
No,
If you
I don't see
think
it.
it's a different definition than what you posted, post it. But I'm literally going on what you said chaos was.
Well, I don't think it's a myth. Clearly, I don't think it's a myth.
Well, if
But
you don't believe in the definition that you posted, give me what
no,
you actually think it is and post the link so I can read it.
no, I'm saying this is this. Okay, they say it's mythological because they're clear. The person writing this article isn't going to be a theist. Me as a theist wouldn't say it's mythological. So but he understands that it's a state preceding creation. As this is what he understands from Greek ancient writing, and so I would agree with the Greeks that chaos, this quote unquote mythological. It's not mythological. I think it's real, quote unquote real. Does precede creation because it would have to precede creation because order presupposes chaos, and there's no reason for a god to create chaos. It's just that's just counterintuitive to order in his creation.
So Genesis literally describes the creation of the void as before the creation of the rest of everything else. So
Well,
that's preceding the creation of the universe. And number two, you can't like say that you know the mind of God. I would say that chaos had to be produced 100%. That's the only way that mankind could have a choice to choose to either love Jesus or not love Jesus. If there was no chaos, there would be no choice. So
yes.
So chaos is a requirement of God. For you to say there is no reason for God to do this. First of all, no, you can't say that because you're not God. And second of all, yes, it is a requirement from a Christian theology mindset.
That's the thing. God can only take away the free will. He can't give you free will. So
God provided the choice, which enabled the free will.
Yes, God provided the choices through order because without creation, there's no choices. I agree with that. But even in do you know the Gnostic text?
Yep.
I know. Okay. Even there's this. I think it was in Judas. They have this very interesting passage where they do talk about chaos and the mind as both being in the beginning. So, so in the Gnostic text, they would say that the Christian God and chaos both at the same time somehow coexist.
God created chaos.
That's bizarre.
But yeah, it's a Gnostic text, so a lot of that text has been kind of deleted because it's not canon anymore on the Christians.
Well, none of it was ever canon, but it was the basis for the Lord of the Rings.
It wasn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Just
Okay, real quick insertion. Okay, so folks in the audience who's willing to play the trivia game, we'll be doing another round here in just a few minutes, last one of the night. I think I figured this out, so you should be able to sign up and then leave and then come back. There's a setting that allows for multiple sign-ins, so you shouldn't have to worry about that if you like leave and can't access it. So click the link, create your little create your nickname, and then you should be able to just hop back in later on by clicking the link when you're ready to play, and it should keep you it should cookie you so you can get back in. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, you just have to copy and paste the link in the same browser you were using. At least that's what I did, and it didn't log me out.
So there's a I just found a setting in here. Well, some people earlier had complained about it, and there was there's like a returning participant setting that was turned off, and it says that you can enabling the setting will give the participant the option to create a new account each time they visit and or they refresh. So,
John, it requires an email address for me to continue.
Okay. Let's turn that off. Let's just see what happens. All right. I turn that off. All right, we'll see what happens. And right now, folks, we've got, let's see how many players we got. Right now, we got 6 people in. So we'll give a few more time. So, folks, you want to join the game? Hop on in. This one is, the questions on this one are these are science questions again, but it's like all over the place. This should be pretty fun, actually. And there's lots of like image selection and a variety of things in this round, which I think you guys will like. So go get signed up. All right, go ahead, guys.
Last point. Chaos cannot heal somebody's blindness. Therefore, Jesus is greater than chaos.
I think I would agree with that, because I would say I would picture chaos as a tree, and I would probably picture, let's say, Zeus as the woodpecker. While the woodpecker can pick away at the tree, if there was a storm, I think the tree would handle the storm a lot better than the woodpecker.
I'll accept your concession and admit that I did not follow that at all. The analogy.
I'm just trying to say, like, while other gods do work in favor of humans, chaos doesn't really seem to be our ally. He's just the ultimate, but seems a bit nihilistic in its attitude. While like the other gods, you could say Jesus, Zeus, seem to be more personal.
So in Revelation, it actually does talk about Apollo. So you could say Apollo, and that's similar to Zeus, and you could bring the fallen angel that is Apollo into your paradigm, and you could kind of say, okay, now we have all of what I'm talking about is included in the Bible. So that means we can talk about it from a Christian paradigm. And then I would say, you're bringing in chaos, and you're saying that this element of chaos is somehow some sort of independent variable that has a mind of his own. But I would say God's plan, because the Bible says God tells the end from the beginning. So God's plan has already happened. It's hard to grasp that, but God exists outside of time. So chaos really has no bearing on God's plan, period, because it's already happened outside of our dimension.
That's the thing. Time does not exist, and it's definitely not a dimension. And
Time is part of our dimension. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Here, I'll explain in a little second. Are you a Calvinist, by the way?
Absolutely not. Oh my God.
Oh my God, because this is what Calvinists don't get. Because Calvinists, well, I know you're not a Calvinist, but this is what Calvinists don't understand, and this is what Jack Astor uses against it very good, effectively. It's that time isn't real. For example, for time to be real, that would mean for every second of time that's happening, new matter would have to be created, like that in a film. For example, time is real, it would be like a film. And so for every frame on that film would mean, a frame in real life, a second in real life. But that would mean for every second, matter will have to be created. And so it would exist in its, it would exist in its own little frame, in its dimensional frame.
So you cannot have matter without time. Whether you agree or disagree, our dimensionality exists, length times width times height, and time is also an element. So when you say it doesn't exist, I think you're fooling yourself.
No, that's the thing, because time would violate free will. If time exists, then
time
that would
allows free will.
No. If time would delete free will. If time is real, that would presuppose a state of predetermined events. You would agree the state of okay. Here. Would you agree that let me ask you a question. Would you agree that the events on a DVD film or on a regular film, it's already predetermined, right? That's already predetermined.
Can I tell you what the ending of a movie is that I've already watched? Yes.
No, I'm just asking. It's already predetermined, whether it be on a DVD or reel to reel. It's already predetermined, correct?
But here's the thing. Here's what you're not getting. God exists outside of time. Period. So whether what God knows has no bearing on our choices.
No, I'm asking you. Would you agree that the events on a DVD film is already predetermined?
I have agreed with you, and I specifically changed it from the events on a DVD film to the ending of a DVD movie.
Okay, if the DVD movie exists, the middle still exists, right? It's not just like the ending, the beginning, and the ending. The middle still exists.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what you guys are arguing about. We have 12 players, and we're going to do this last round of trivia. So, everybody who wants to take part in the this last round of trivia for tonight, link is pinned inside chat. Click that sucker. Get on over. Put in your nickname if you haven't signed up already, or get going. So let's see. We got cool. We got 12 players this go, and let's see what happens here. It's 15 questions. See if anybody makes it that far. Okay, so we're doing elimination again, and let's get ready to rock and roll. Okay, I think I figured out how I can actually read the question first before to account for lag a little better. Okay. All right, we're going to get started here in just a second, folks. And so the question is, what scientific process is observable when growing rock candy with water, sugar, and wooden sticks? Here we go. What scientific process is observable when growing rock candy with water, sugar, and wooden sticks? And the correct answer on that one, wow, everybody got that one right. It's crystallization. And everybody got that one correct. All right, here we go. Question number 2. A lava lamp's behavior is due to the blank of the colored wax material changing with heat. Is it A, boiling point, B, consistency, C, density, or D, elasticity? And looks like, how are we doing? All right, 5 of you survived that one. It was C, density. All right, next question is, though most parts of the human body shrink with age, the nose and blank actually keep growing. Is it your A, ears, B, feet, C, fingers, or D, your eyes? And that's me. I already have a big one of these already, so I'm screwed. 88% of you got it correct. It is your ears. Interesting. I thought it was going to be your schnoz. I would have got that one incorrect. All right. Question number 4. Through what type of tissue can you observe capillary action as white flowers soak up colored water? Is it A, stigma, B, xylem, C, anther, or D, man, I can't pronounce this one, phloem? I don't know. Oh man, so only one of you got that correct, and it was xylem. All right, let's see. Has anybody survived yet? We still survive. Let's see. Where are we at right now? Okay. So, we still have one person who has still can go all the way. Everybody can keep playing, obviously,
I
but
missed that one.
one person has still got still survive. All right. Next question. On what planet of our solar system is a day longer than a year? Is it Jupiter, Venus, Mars, or Saturn? Which planet of our solar system has a day longer than a year? Jupiter, Venus, Mars, or Saturn? And the correct answer, only one of you got, was Venus. Interesting. The day is longer than a year. Most of you went for either Jupiter or Saturn, but the correct answer was Venus.
It's got to be its own year, I guess, not an Earth year. I went to click it, but I hesitated.
Well, day is just the rotation, right? So year is the time around the sun. So it must take longer to rotate on its own axis than it takes to circumvent the sun. Interesting.
It's probably because it's the gravitational pull being so close. I was gonna I was like, Saturn, no, that doesn't make sense. But I didn't.
All right, here we go. All right, next question. Substances such as ketchup and oobleck, whose viscosity can change when under force, becoming more liquid or solid, are known as non-blank fluids. Is it Einsteinian, Newtonian, Galilean, or Maxwellian? And looks like 5 of you got that one correct. It was B, Newtonian. All right, let's see. Can anybody still win? Okay, yep, we still got a few. Okay. All right. Question number 7. What kind of chemical reaction leads to an eruption when mixing baking soda and vinegar in a science fair volcano? Is it neutralization, decomposition, precipitation, or redox? What kind of chemical reaction leads to an eruption when mixing baking soda and vinegar in a science fair volcano? Neutralization, decomposition, precipitation, or redox? And 2 of you got that one right. It was A, neutralization. All right, question number 8. We'll stop this at 10. I don't think there are going to be potential winners left. When a bucket of water is spun in a circle, the water stays in the bucket due to what type of force? Is it centrifugal, tension, frictional, or centripetal? And it is D, centripetal force. Interesting. I think I might have gone with A myself, like most of you. Okay, question number 9. Through the analysis of loops, whorls, and arches, many crimes are solved via, dactyloscopy. The study of what? Is it blood spatter, fingerprints, gun ballistics, or handwriting? Okay. Through the analysis of loops, whorls, and arches, many crimes are solved via, a very long word, which is the study of what? You should be able to deduce this from loops, whorls, and arches.
Dang it.
The correct answer was B, fingerprints. So those loops, whorls, and arches in your fingers. That's what that was. Okay. All right. Last question, and we'll wrap this one up. Which planet spins clockwise in our solar system? Is it Mercury, Venus, Saturn, or Neptune? Which planet spins clockwise in our solar system? Mercury, Venus, Saturn, or Neptune? All right, looks like we got one correct answer, and that was Venus. Most of you went for Neptune, but Venus was the correct answer. So good job. All right, let's end, and we'll see who made it the farthest.
I think Neptune's just tipped on its side or something. I just realized.
All right, so oh man, dang it, we had one left. Oh no, we didn't. Okay, so Ryan and J Prime both made it to level 6. So good job, guys.
Bravo.
Congrats, Ryan and J Prime. Both of you tapped out at question number 6. It's a good job, y'all. All right, well, that was okay. So everybody, let me know if the A, you thought that was fun. B, if it's something you'd like to do on a semi-regular basis. And obviously, we'll things get more smoothed out, and I'll figure out how to time it better and whatnot. But let me know what you guys thought was if that was fun. And there's a lot of different tonight we did science stuff. We could do movie trivia, sports, politics, history, all that kind of stuff. And turn into something fun.
History would be fun.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna say, you guys were talking about the chaos thing. I think so. A lot of people deny creation ex nihilo because of that. I think because of that one, it's one of the reasons why. Or if you read John Walton's book on Genesis and why he would deny ex nihilo creation, and that it's more about God putting things in order. There's kind of like a pattern there, like a temple motif pattern, which you also see in Revelation. It follows the whole pattern, and the idea that it's chaos before creation. I don't think it's so much saying. I think they're saying in the narrative of Genesis anyway. The idea is in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and that's kind of like an overview. And then it says, I think it says before the creation days start, it says it was without form and void. So you could read that thing you were saying is it was chaotic before he starts creating the days, or ordering things on the days. It doesn't necessarily, that's a separate issue from whether or not that was prior to, God creating something out of nothing. So, because it's clear that before he starts ordering it during the days, that it's without form and void, whatever that means, chaotic. But that before that, it says he made the heavens and earth, which may just be like an overview of the whole story that he's about to say, kind of like a headline. But if you read it as like a stringent linear chronology, then obviously it would be God creates out of nothing, and then it's chaotic, and then he starts putting it in order. So when it says before creation, it could just mean before the weeks, the days of creation that he's putting in order. But I take it to mean for whatever reason, and it's interesting when you look at the Septuagint, the Tohu Vavohu, of course, the Septuagint is the Greek rendering of the Old Testament, 200, several hundred years before the first century. And so then the New Testament's written in Greek. And if you look, I believe it's abusos is how they translate that, the form of the earth before he starts ordering it during the days. And that's the same term used that's translated in Revelation as the bottomless pit, is abusos. So it's kind of like a chaotic structure, if you ask me, before God recreates in the end of Revelation. But
Well, I would say even hell's created, because to me the order is the laws of logic, laws of physics. That's the order, because logic it's what something does, not what something is. So I see a lot of mistakes that you Christians do when you debate these atheists, and would say logic exists independent of God. Well, when you say that, what you're not getting is now you're saying that logic is the ultimate, and so God is no longer the ultimate. So you guys really got to stop doing that.
By the way, I'd like to interject something on this. I have the Septuagint in front of me, and it says the earth was unsightly and unfurnished. In other words, to me, that means that God created sort of the foundation, and then he started adding things to it. And the foundation was obviously, a ball of something and covered with water, a ball of rock or whatever covered with water. And then I'm not the only one that came up with this. In fact, I'm not the one that came up with this. I've read this in other places, but it makes sense. The one rock we have on Earth that just totally baffles scientists is granite. It just, you can't, if they melt it, it sorts because it's made of different kinds of minerals that have different densities. So you can't really recreate it once it melts. Well, then it says God created a firmament in the midst of the waters. So that tells me that the earth was just above
Let
the water,
let,
unsightly,
let
unfurnished, and unfurnished. Well, let me finish. And then he created the granite inside the water. In other words, in the midst of the water, there's water above it and there's water below it. So it was actually floating, or floating, if you want to call it floating, on the water below it, but there was also water above it. Then he sort of moved the sea into one area, which moved the granite into the other area. Of course, it was still granite down there all the way around. But once he did that, the granite came above the sea, above the water, and that was dry land. Now, when the fountains of the great deep broke open, all the water that was still under the granite, all the way around the earth, burst out and flooded the earth. And if you read Psalm 104, I believe 104, around the 6th verse, it says that God placed the earth on its foundations that it should not be moved. Before it was sort of floating on the water, but now it's sunk. When the water disappeared from underneath it, it sunk down onto like the hard surface down there, and suddenly now we have the granite touching the rest of the rock underneath. Well,
well
it all makes sense from an engineering perspective. If you look at it from a philosophical perspective, you can prove just about anything. Well, or
okay
not prove
okay
anything.
yeah, we kind of talk about the metaphysics. So okay, so yeah, metaphysics aren't a thing that exists independently of God. Let's say, because you need the metaphysics before creation. You need those in place before you can have stuff like your chair, literal physical objects, because you need that order to actually hold that stuff together, or else it just collapses back into chaos. And here's the thing with demons. Demons just want to take you to their realm and torture you in their realm. Then they don't want you to go back to chaos, because that's basically going back into nothing. So even demons would fear chaos because they just want to torture you within hell, their realm.
I actually take a similar view to what Dan was describing. There's a couple different ways you can read, because if you actually consider in Genesis that it's talking about, so God makes like this chaotic waters, right? But we usually are going to like imagine that in our heads from our perspective, and that is kind of like that there's this universe, empty universe, and then in there somewhere God forms this ball of water. But what if the real conception there in Genesis is that there is no space outside of what it's talking about, and so all that exists is the water, and then he expands that after the fact, and so literally the water that Earth is made out of is
no, you're misunderstanding what they mean by waters. Okay, in physics, there's this thing called fields. You know those, right?
Yes, fields.
Okay. And the analogy they use to describe these things are liquid-like substances that are abstract. So when God talks about waters, he's not talking about the literal H2O. He's talking about the waters of chaos, the field. He's talking about the ether.
Well, that's possible. I'm just saying, conceptually, when it's talking about God, what God first makes, that we don't have. I'm saying that the idea that there's this universe that's sitting there of empty space, and then it's just a constrained place, small spot in space. It's not actually in the text as far as Genesis goes. I'm saying it could be that the actual space is created after the focus of what ends up being the point of reference of where the Earth is. I'm just saying.
I'm not talking about Earth waters. I'm talking about the foundation. Yeah.
So yes, people have posited the idea that the waters are not liquid water, H2O, and I get that. It just means
the Hebrew only gives one definition for that word, and it's water.
No,
So,
that's the thing, because
I mean, I'm not a
actually
Hebrew
think that way
expert.
too.
It could mean something else, but it
because you
says
can,
either literal or figurative. It's water. So
it's a figure.
They do. Now we know that water in the New Testament, the waters means the Gentile nations.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the
Yeah, I
the
know that. I
foundation.
know that. I'm just saying there is a figurative
Yeah.
word for water,
Used
but
in Revelation, yeah. It gives
Yeah,
you the
but
definition.
not in this context. In this context, you got water. He when he separates the water from the land, or he moves the water into one place, he calls it the sea or the seas.
Okay.
So I mean, he's really talking about water.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fine. But I want to get back to the what we were talking about. So yeah, for example, the foundations of the universe are these liquid-like substances that are abstract. And so somebody, for example, from going from like, oh, he left. Oh, we can do another thing then.
You can keep going. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. All right. So for example, when we take, I'm getting some echo. Somebody's mic. I think LPP, is that you? Yeah, I think LPP. I'm getting a little bit of
What?
I'm getting some echo from your mic.
From my mic?
Yeah. All right. So for example, to go from a regular H2O water to ice, you need to have a mold, and then you have to like freeze it to shape it into something. It's something similar to that with the primordial, quote unquote, the primordial waters, the ether, the field, whatever you want to call it. Somebody needs to come along and take this quote unquote nothing and manifest it into our literal material world. But first you need the laws of physics, you need the laws of logic to actually hold this figure, this matter, in its place, or else it would just collapse back into water. It's like liquid form. So you could say it's spiritual, and so everything fundamentally is still spiritual. There's, for example, the atom has never been observed. You can literal, actual physical atoms never been observed.
So I'm going to hypothetically agree with you just for the sake of this argument, because you mentioned ether, and it sounds like what you're saying is more of like a spiritual type realm. And in Genesis 1:2, it does specifically say the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So I'll give you a little bit of wiggle room there, but still, you would agree that when you talk about the laws of physics, that would include time, correct?
Not time, but it's something very, very. I think you made a very good. You said something very important. That God moved at the surface of the water, right?
The Spirit of God, that's the Holy Spirit, not God.
Yeah.
God pre-existed the water.
Yeah, we can argue about that, but God,
That's the Trinity.
Okay, yeah, God. I think Jesus calls himself the God of light, right? Or the something.
So the very first thing that's spoken is
He brings-
light. So God said, "Let there be light." That's verse 3.
Okay,
And
yes,
there was light.
Yeah, that's very important, because do you know what light is in physics? Light is literally the perturbation of these waters. So the waves, something needs to hit the. Okay, for example, sound is a perturbation of a medium. You understand that, right? You put your ear against the desk, you hit the wood, you can hear the sound more clearly, right?
You kind of pivoted again, man. What's the speed of light? Just curious.
I don't know.
Is that a unit of time associated with that speed?
That's the thing. Light doesn't travel. It's an induction rate. Here, I'm trying to put it for somebody who doesn't know. Trying to break it down to get you to know what I know, and it's very hard because
it's kind of scary. Like what the picture you're presenting, time doesn't exist, light doesn't travel. I mean, I think where you live is not actual reality.
Not to change the subject, but you were talking about the spiritual realm.
Yes, but that's the thing. You're thinking.
In Job, it talks as if the angels were with God when he created the earth, because it says they rejoiced.
Okay, here's the thing.
They're called sons of God, but they were angels. That throughout the scripture, they're called, throughout the Old Testament, the sons of God were angels. And even in the New Testament, the ones empowered to become sons of God are like the angels in heaven. So,
okay,
but
here's the
anyway,
thing.
it says that they were with God. They shouted for joy when God created the earth.
Okay, here's the thing. You're still thinking of light as a particle. You think light is a particle?
I really don't have the slightest idea. I just know that it
No,
it moves
power
lightning
word.
fast. It moves very
No,
fast.
Yeah,
It can be measured. The speed can be measured, so it definitely travels.
No, it doesn't
or
travel. That's the thing.
Moves.
Okay. Here, hey, power word. Do you think that light is a particle?
So I agree with you that light can be evidenced by a perturbation of matter. I
No,
believe
that's the
that
thing.
light,
It's not matter. It's a perturbation of a medium, but it's not matter.
well, a matter exists within time. A medium exists within time. You're
No,
using
no,
the same
That's
concept.
the thing. This medium doesn't exist within time, and this medium is the foundation of our very existence.
So light.
So example, when you hit the wood on your table, that's a perturbation of the wood, right? You understand that there's no little particles going from one end to your ear, right? You understand that.
What
correct?
I understand is what you just did had a beginning, which means time was involved.
No, that's not. You're missing the point. Okay.
No, you're missing my point.
This has nothing to do with time. Okay. Okay. Do you understand that? For example, you understand that sound is a perturbation of a medium and not a particle, right? You understand that?
So, hold on. Let me just I got to clear something up real quick. So the God that I believe in, the God of the Bible, exists outside of time. Period.
This has nothing. This has nothing to do with our gods right now. This is about the creation, the foundation of the universe. Okay, so for example, you would agree that sound, the perturbation, is not a particle, but is the perturbation of a medium, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we both agree that there's no little particles for me knocking the wood shooting into my ear. There's a perturbation of the medium, and the medium is the air. Same thing with light. Light is merely the perturbation of a medium. But what is that medium? It's not a particle. And that's the thing. If light was a particle, you would have to clean out the lens on your camera's phone and empty out the particles. That's absurdity. It's not a particle. It's a perturbation of a medium. Now the question is, what is that medium? The answer is the field, which is the ether. The so hypothetical chaotic waters. This is why you see the. I'm not sure you've seen. I forget the name of the experiment. Refractions in light when they have the dual slit experiment. I'm not sure if you know that.
Can you explain how light has nothing to do with time? That's what I'm not getting.
Okay, because even if time was real or it wasn't real, there would still be light.
So I don't believe that, because the Bible says in the beginning, which is the beginning of time, and then in verse 3 it says, God said, let there be light, which means two things. Number one, time existed without light, and God pre-existed light.
No, in the beginning means the beginning of causation. There is
it's time. It's literally time. God exists outside of time.
No,
in Revelation, it says there will be no more time in the future. So right now we're living in a period of time that has a beginning and has an end.
I don't agree with you on an end. There's no end in the Bible.
There would be no cause. There's no causation. Okay,
the earth lasts forever.
First, let me finish real quick. Okay, would you agree that causation is grounded in logic and physics, right? Causation is grounded. No, causation is grounded in logic and physics. Would you agree with that?
To have an effect, you would have to have a cause, and these
But
would
it's
have to happen in sequence,
yes, it is.
which implies physical laws of time.
No, is no, it implies logic. It's grounded in logic, right? In physics too, but that's just cause and effect. You tip over something, that's physics, but it's ultimately still grounded in logic and metaphysics. Correct?
I think we should just pivot away from this. I'm just going to entirely disagree with you.
Okay.
I
would say causation is grounded, logic, and
I think
logic comes from God.
for you to say time doesn't exist, right there, it makes this argument kind of invalid, because I mean everybody agrees. I mean, everybody besides you agrees time exists.
No, because first of all, there's no time dimension. You would prove that.
Our dimension is length, width, height, matter. That's what that is, and time.
Time is something something mathematicians use as a dimension, but it's not something in physics. So just because a mathematician uses a dimension, that's how you get all these field dimensions. That's how you get all these fields. Doesn't mean it's an actual thing in physics. So time is just referring to causality.
We can talk about the end of the earth if you'd like. That's better. I like that discussion. Have you heard about the new heaven and the new earth?
Well, I agree. This universe will collapse back into chaos. And
So-
it has to. You can't really fix something. You just get a new one.
So
It's
the Bible specifically lays out the future, right? So the world is heading into what's called the tribulation. The tribulation lasts for 7 years. And then after that, there's 1,000-year reign of Jesus, not chaos, Jesus. And then after that, the heaven and earth that exists today is destroyed. There's a new heaven and a new earth. You mentioned hell earlier. Hell actually was created. But in order for it to exist in the future, it can't exist if there's no time. So what happens is hell gets thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire exists eternally. It's a non-physical, non-matter existence. So hell gets thrown into the lake of fire. The new heaven and new earth is created. And literally in Revelation, it says, there will be no more time. So this means the heaven and earth is definitely destroyed, and there is a new beginning with a new heaven and new earth. No more time.
Well, I think your interpretation is incorrect. And plus, you're presupposing, you're presupposing the Bible. Somebody's knocking. Give me a second.
Did you hear what I said? Bible research tools. What's your name? Are you there? John, you still there?
Okay, I'm back. Just getting some mail.
I'm back too. My mic went out. I had to change mics.
So Revelation 21:1, Bible research tools. If you want to read that real quick.
Sure.
But here's the thing: you're still
I
presupposing
saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
So that's pretty clear, right? There's a new heaven, new earth.
Well, actually, it's not clear if you take it literally. You have to go back to Isaiah 65 and 66 to understand what it's talking about. That's a fulfillment of prophecy there. Under Hebraisms, the new heaven and the new earth is actually sort of a change of the guard. You go back and look, and Jeremiah talked about it in his days with the Babylon incident, and Jerusalem and Babylon.
So do you
Anyway,
believe it's a future fulfillment
so
in
what it
Revelation?
means, if all you have to do is read Isaiah, and it tells you what it means. It means the new heaven and the new earth was actually the end of the old covenant in God's, it's covenant language. The heaven and the earth, the end of the heaven and the earth was the end of the old covenant polity, or whatever you want to call it, ruling body, everything involved with it, and that was replaced with the new covenant.
Can I address it?
So that's all it means. It's not like God made the earth to be inhabited, and He says plain as day in Ecclesiastes that it abideth forever. Even in this one, there's still nations and still kings. If you keep reading in 21 and 22, you'll see there's still nations and still kings. Where did they come from if it's a brand new heaven and earth? Like, physical thing.
So when
but
God
this
says
is spiritual language. Well, let me give you another thing here that you might be interested in. In the old covenant, there was a heaven and the earth and the sea, believe it or not, that was spiritual, and it was, the heaven was the holy of holies, the earth was the inner court for the Jews, clean Jews, and the sea was the outer court, which was for the Gentiles and unclean Jews. Now that's
very
in the
racist.
Bible. That's in the Bible, back in Leviticus or somewhere. Josephus talks about it in his book. So what happened here? It says, I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and there was no more sea. Well, the first time I ever read that, I said, well, that's no fun if there's no fishing. But later I realized what it meant. John Owen talks about it in some of his 1600s commentaries. But to me, that means that the new heaven and the new earth and no more sea means there's no more outer court. There's just one court. Because you remember in Ephesians 2 where Christ broke down the wall partition between the Gentiles and the Jews, or the Israelites, and suddenly they were one. That's in Ephesians 2, starting about verse 11. And they all combined together into a holy temple, spiritual temple, which Peter talked about in 1 Peter chapter 2. But it's a spiritual temple where you have the foundations are the prophets and the apostles, with Jesus Christ as the chief cornerstone. And the walls, the rest of the framing and the walls is built by the body of Christ.
Okay.
So it's all spiritual. It's all spiritual. You take this stuff literal. The time statements are important because God gave us time from the beginning, but He also gave us a patterns throughout prophecy that talked about Him flying through the air and smiting the Egyptians and all this. And then when you read it, what it really means is all He did was send the Assyrians against Egypt because He didn't like them anymore. They had abandoned Him. And that's true in all the prophecy. It's like parabolistic. Jesus spoke in parables a lot, but this is more metaphorical. Well, that's the same thing here. But if you don't understand the Hebraisms, how they communicated these things, what it meant to them. For example, Peter says in Second Peter 3,
Bible,
Peter 4, that the heaven and the earth will be destroyed, burn up, and the elements. Have you ever looked up the Greek on that word elements? It means rudiments, principles. In other words, has nothing to do with physical elements. It's talking about the rules and regulations, the old covenant, right? All that's disappeared. All the rules and regulations of the old covenant, gone. That's the elements. But there's another word for element, another usage for elements in the temple language. The elements were the fire, earth, and water paintings or patterns on the different drapes that hung in the temple. Those were the elements. So that was sort of a dual thing there. Some people think he was talking about the temple, the heaven and the earth, the holy holies, and the elements, but other people think he was talking about the heaven and the earth like Jeremiah, where it was a corporate body that was destroyed, a ruling body was destroyed, and a new one came in. The old covenant got burned up.
Okay,
So,
okay,
real,
anyway,
real quick.
Yes,
Read,
come on, Bible.
Bible. Read Revelation 21:4. Just real
No,
quick.
first,
and let Bubble
let,
talk.
a power
let
word.
me
I've read all these. I've read these for 50 years. So if you want to,
before we do that,
what does that mean? God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. That is also Hebraic type language. And what that, if you really go back and read what is really going on there,
No, okay, I'm done
look
listening,
into
man.
the future,
Everything
and
is
look
not
so
the
far in
old
future.
covenant
All
and the
that,
new
well,
covenant.
does it say
Everything
that
is not already
God.
done. There's a whole lot of
all right,
prophecy
okay,
for
well,
the
you can take
future.
that literally if you like,
The
but I'm
Bible is
telling you what
very
it means. What
literal.
it means is
The Bible
that
is very
Israel is
literal.
no longer suffering from the iron fist of the bondage of the old covenant ruling class.
No, it says
Okay,
no more
Okay,
death.
okay,
Oh my
okay.
God.
Let's look at it this way. Go to Galatians 4.
No,
There's
no,
a
I'm
parable
done,
or
man.
a metaphor in there,
You're
analogy about the
literally,
two Jerusalems.
you're
One of
changing
them
the
is in
definition
bondage
of
with his
words.
children. That's earthly Jerusalem. But Jerusalem, which is above heavenly Jerusalem, is free. Now, you could take that and say, well, in the New Jerusalem and the heavenly Jerusalem, when we get there, there's no more tears, no more crying, no more death, no more sorrow, no more cry. Absolutely. But in covenantal language, that also means that whoever was hurting the Jews or the Israelites, and only a remnant was saved, the rest were cut off. That's Moses, Deuteronomy 18, and Peter mentioned it in Acts 3, where he quoted Moses and said that whoever would not hear Christ will be cut off from the people. So those branches were broken off. They were no longer part of the tree of Israel. Only the remnant was saved overall. Most were totally kicked out.
Okay, let me just answer a question on the chat, okay? Okay, so somebody brought up the Michael Morley's experiment, debunked the ether long ago. Okay, first, for people who don't know the ether theory in physics is a proposed existence of a medium, a space-filling substance of fields and transmissions for the propagation of light. Wait, please.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know. Okay, so that's what the ether is. And people said the Michael Morley experiment debunked the ether because I'm not sure if you guys know the experiment. Basically, they thought there was the ether was physical, and so there was a drag effect. Well, here's what's wrong with that experiment. It presupposes that the ether is physical to begin with. It's not physical. So it didn't debunk it.
Hello?
Bubble, you cut out.
I'm not finished.
You're roboting really hard, actually. But I'm actually going to go. I just want to make a quick final point. The Bible is very clear. The Bible is very specific. The Bible is very literal, and I take it very literal.
So you think stars are
hold
going
on.
to fall down out of heaven, huh?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So
no, they're not going anywhere.
So if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I mean, we are bombarded
down
by
the rabbit hole. You take literal what shouldn't be literal, and you take time. You ignore the time stamps all throughout the Bible. Whereas God told us in the beginning, just very early on, He said, "I'm making these for times and seasons, and seasons and days and years or whatever." And He also, throughout the Bible, He gave us time. He never failed on the time. Now, if you do the opposite, if you take time spiritually, like, oh, it can mean any time. A day is as 1,000 years or something. 1,000 years also is a day too. Well, then you're missing the whole point of the whole context of the Bible. I've got about 100 that I've counted statements of eminence from the apostles and from Jesus.
Okay.
About 100. Now you think God, okay, let me put it this way. In the very first verse of the Revelation, the first 3 verses, God gave this words to Jesus, which Jesus gave to John. And it said that these things are going to shortly come to pass. The time is at hand. Now, people say, well, nobody knows the day or the hour. Well, God did. God knows it. He knew it. And,
we can get to why
and
that's
he
wrong.
said, and he gave us some specific timestamps, specific, that said these things are going to happen shortly.
Okay, look, let me just address this guy's question, and then I'm gonna hop out because. Okay, for those who don't know, ether theory is a theory in physics that proposes
All right, real quick, Rob, I'll let you say your thing, but we're going to wrap up because I'm getting exhausted. We're going 2 hours and 40 minutes, so let's make this last word rounds, and then we'll call it night. Go ahead.
Okay, so ether theory is pretty much presupposes the existence of a medium, this space-filling substance that is the medium for the propagation of light. And the reason the Michael Morley experiment failed at debunking the ether, you should look it up. It's basically, it was saying there was a drag effect on the ether because they were presupposing it was physical. The ether is not physical. So when dummies say that the field is physical, guess what? Now the Michael Morley experiment now applies to them if they're going to claim the field is physical. And clearly it's not physical because Michael and Morley does not detect a field drag effect. So neither the field or the ether are physical. They're the one and the same. And I'm not sure if that answered your question, T. Stoltz. That's it.
Right on. Appreciate it. Dan, you got any last words?
No. I've talked enough. But thank you, John. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that very much. Power word, any last words?
Sure. Just one last thing. It says in Revelation, God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things passed away. What this means is, number one, every atheist or evolutionist that doesn't believe in Jesus, who is listening to this right now, the memory of you will pass away. All tears will be wiped from the eyes, which means anyone you ever knew will be sad, but that will be wiped away, as will the former things, which is the current earth, the current heaven, and all things will be made new. The reason why there's the beginning and the end is because time is no more when we all become recreated, non-physical, spiritual beings. And that is what we have to look forward to, is the new heaven and new earth, and living in a place where chaos does not exist any longer. And that is all.
Appreciate that power word. And born 100 years late, tossing a last minute super chat. Thanks so much. Says, thanks for the hangout, John. You bunch of heretics, with a smiley face. Yeah, we're all heretics. I tell you, so I've actually, as a sidebar, I've actually been contemplating doing a stream to discuss the implications of John 5:24 and whether or not it
that'd be good.
makes the implications of it make a whole bunch of people either heretics or dogmatic ignoramuses. That and for the, I'm gonna wrap it up here, but I'm gonna read it real quick and let people think about the implications of it. Let's see. I think it's verse 24. Let's see here. Yeah, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Who does that just say you have to believe in? It's he who sent Jesus, not necessarily Jesus himself, even though Jesus is God, right? And if Jesus is one, then believing in God and Christ would be one and the same. is the potential implications of that. So I think that's a very interesting conversation to have.
That would be a really wonderful conversation.
But anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I was going to say that Matt Slick and Muslim metaphysician debate coming up. Yeah, that one's going to be real spicy.
Oh, that one's going to be, I would be surprised if there's not some like honor killings after that one.
Did you see the pre-debate talk they had?
No, I have not.
Oh man, Matt Slick. It sounded like Matt Slick was panicking like heck.
All right, well, I'll have to check that out. All right, folks, thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. Sorry I've been gone for most of October, but I'm going to try and do quite a few before the end of the month and get back into a stream of things. I'm also looking at doing, so I haven't had much time in the evenings this past month, so I'm thinking about flipping and doing streams in the morning. So maybe you guys think about that, if doing some morning streams, like get a little, just general conversation. Yeah, we can have people talk, but also like review kind of current events and just, goings on in the world, implications and such. I think it'll be fun as well to do. So let me know what you guys think about that. And with all that said, let's call it an evening and make sure that as we use our brains and contemplate different topics and observe the world and contemplate our existence and the future and philosophy and all those other things, make sure the conclusions that we reach are logical, plausible, and probable. And if they're not, you're probably being an Evo atheist and are not using your brain. So on that note, have
good
a
night,
good night,
John. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.